Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday Funday, and I told y'all we were gonna get to us. And hey, we are here to talk about us.
Be careful.
Not us, but the movie Us.
Yeah, and not This Is Us, the NBC show, because I would almost be rather watching that. Those who are wondering real quickly, the reason why we did not watch this, instead we watched Triple Frontier way back when, is because I do not particularly like Jordan Peele's directing, and I also don't particularly like his viewpoints, to put it nicely. So because of that, I choose to endorse him in many ways. It's one thing to have a political viewpoint one way or the other. I don't give a shit one way, any fashion, but it's another thing to be, he's outright racist. Let's just put it that way. He's Spike Lee, and people are like, you're so smart because you hate white people, and that's brilliant. It's like, white people have been hating our white people for centuries. Y'all don't call them brilliant. We just call them assholes. But yeah, so...
Whereas we are not racist. We hate everyone equally.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care. I hate you all. But no, yeah, and did not help that with Get Out that I actually saw. Megan lucked out in not seeing it. That movie to me was just the epitome of a guy who was just, to quote Rocket Man, and it's our favorite quote, just breaking his neck from sucking his own dick. And I couldn't stand much of it.
Yeah, I still to this day have not seen him, but he's told me all about it, and I've read about it on Wikipedia. Like, wow, this is racist all around. White people and black people.
Yeah. So, since I have some experience with Jordan Peele's directing style and writing style, rip off! Sorry, I got a little sneeze there. Mm-hmm. I am going to let the gorgeous Megan lead us off here to give us her thoughts on Us. Not Us as a couple, because that's 16 years to unravel.
Well, first, take your lips off my ass. I know you such a kiss ass.
So what did you think of Us?
I wish I could say that I knew what he was going for, but I don't know what he was going for. I mean, I think he was trying to pay homage to something like 70s horror films like The Omen and maybe like Rosemary's Baby. I don't know, I haven't seen it. But it's kind of older horror films where it's like a bit of a slow burn and...
There's a lot of like choir music being...
Just...
Yeah, it's obviously people just doing that in different octaves. Okay, well, some I didn't think we needed back again.
And singing in faux Latin feels like.
Yeah.
I think in the Omen actually was Latin.
Probably don't anything. I'd have to ask
I had to get out of my coffee.
I'm thinking he's dead.
No, he's still very much alive.
So he's still alive? Alright, cool.
I want to say. Don't call me on
I might killed him. I'm sorry if I did. But yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, it was really slow with everything and just, oh my, just, like stilted dialogue and just the general feel of just the director slash writer slash producer kind of
Cock knobbler.
Yeah, kind of being full of himself, just kind of up his own ass. I mean, it's like Tarantino levels of like, oh, look how brilliant I am. Don't I deserve an Oscar?
Yeah. This movie is really trying to be a Oscar bait horror film, for lack of a better way to put it. Because one, what is Jordan Peele not doing? He's not calling it a horror movie, even though it straight up is a horror movie. It's a slasher, for lack of a better way to put it. But
It's a thriller. I hate to use that because there's a thriller t-shirt at the beginning sort of comes into play.
yeah, to describe this movie in a nutshell without having to get into every single issue with the plot is
Because we're going to be here all day.
yeah, we might be here all day because there's
I said, we eventually want to go get dinner.
The movie suffers from a lot of issues, like Megan's already said. It's like the attempts at homage, but there's a lot of times where it doesn't feel like homage. It feels like it's straight up ripping off better films. It feels like, oh, well, I'm going to homage wink this movie by ripping a scene almost whole hog from it. I'm going to homage wink this Twilight Zone episode and rip it off completely. All I'm doing is adding blood. You have seen
Yeah, it's
this.
very Tarantino-esque where it's like, oh, look how smart I am and how knowledgeable I am about movies and stuff.
There's so much shit here where it's obvious that Jordan Peele does not have an original idea because, again, this is a Twilight Zone episode. I do not remember the exact one. I don't remember all the Twilight Zone episodes' names. Sue me. But I do remember watching them when I was a kid, and I was like, whenever I saw Us, and it's like, okay, I'm guessing that the issue is that they're all clones, because otherwise it's going to be really, really weird to explain that they're aliens that happen to look like them. And sure enough, that's the movie right there. They're clones.
And there's anvil after anvil hitting you over the head with the fact that Lupita Nyong'o's character Addie, she's actually one of the clones.
One of the original clones.
Yeah, she's been a clone this entire time. She just took the place of the original when they were little girls.
Yeah, and...
Which you kind of sort of see in the trailer.
Yeah, and that's another issue that I will bring up with the movie. Not just because of the fact that I don't think it's a particularly interesting twist, because it tries to show us this big reveal, and it's like, okay, the movie is really pounding in your head that, hey, she's the clone. She might be the clone. Who knows? Yeah, sure shit.
Don't right over the head. It's like, thanks, movie. I couldn't have seen this coming 20 miles away.
Yeah, and then on top of everything, whenever it tries to reveal why there are clones, first off, the movie has to begin the whole movie. I talk about there's secret tunnels underneath all of America. Who knows what their purpose is? Okay, so that's...
Yeah, he's like, unused subway tunnels and abandoned mine shafts and some they don't know the purpose of.
It's like, okay, so what is the purpose of these clones? The purpose was supposedly like some government, or the government wanted to create them to help.
Want to control the originals by using the clones as puppets.
Even though that doesn't really work, except for when the plot needs it to work. Like, you would think that that would mean the clones would exactly mirror the real people, or the real people would mirror the clones in certain regards. But
No, it's just the clones mirroring the originals.
Sometimes.
Yeah, only when it's convenient. Because other times they can do whatever the hell they want and, just, hi.
You gotta do what I feel like, and...
Yeah,
okay.
It's like there are no real rules to this world that Jordan Peele's trying to establish. And it's like, okay, well, I am so confused. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, like, it's not the problem of trying to understand the basic plot, because that is another issue with the movie. It is a very basic plot that is stretched across in an hour or 2 hours. I should say an hour, because realistically, the first hour of the movie is really, really fucking lame, and really, really beats you over the head with how poor the dialogue is. Because Jordan Peele, for some reason, whenever he wrote Get Out, like, some of the dialogue sounded fine, but there was a lot of the dialogue that was very stilted, and he was like, that's what people loved. So I should write more stilted dialogue. Blah, blah, blah. I shall just suck my cock hard. Because that's all this is everybody has to say words that just sound like a clone is talking it when they're not the clone. It's just this weird phrasing. Like, I know I have odd phrasing that is partially due part to the fact that I have ADD. I will finish a sentence in my head before my mouth finishes it, and I'm on to another thought. So my thought processes get very confused.
And sometimes I just trip over my own tongue and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but I love her still. But
We can't talk, but we find other things to do.
Yeah, mostly, I lick her clit a lot, so.
Really hope my family's not watching this.
Hi, Scott family. But no, yeah, there's just some points where, like the dad, I'm gonna break your head, man. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so awkwardly said, and just.
And then Dad, like, he actually wasn't bad with a little bit he was given to do in Black Panther.
Yeah,
Winston Duke.
Yeah, Winston Duke. Yeah, we're kind of looking it up. And some people really want to say, oh, Lupita Nyong'o, she's fantastic, and it's like she has to do these dual roles. Like, well, so is everybody else in this movie,
Yeah.
and they're all like Lupita Nyong'o. The only thing is just she has to play one character who is a clone that's trying to pretend they're not a clone, and the other person that's not a clone that's being forced into a clone world, and that all that means is talks like this.
I think her voice is supposed to be raspy from disuse.
Yeah. Because
It was like if she organized, because the whole thing is supposed to be her master plan of trying to, like, get the clones to untether themselves from the original.
By killing the originals, because...
With scissors, because symbolism.
Yeah, and not only that, but they live in a world where gunpowder was never invented because somehow there's no police that shoot any of these clones. None of them get killed, except for whenever it needs to be through a violent method, by beating them or stabbing them back.
I said cops never show up. National Guard isn't called out. Nothing.
It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it's one of the issues with, like, the movie, to talk about a movie that's actually better, even though I don't much care for the movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Like, whenever the police are having to stand down with all the apes where they charge at them with batons. It's like, y'all have guns! Shoot them! And again, that's kind of the thing here. It's like, I know this takes place in California, but them backwood Californians are just like Texas Californians. They probably have a nuke somewhere. Like, what happened to San Francisco? Don't ask. Bob got bored and dropped it off his plane. Ba-doo! But yeah, it's just, there's weird things that the plot simply needs it to work, so they have to remove an element from realism to make it work. And then there's a lot of leaps of logic you have to do to accept how this world is working. Like the whole clone thing. It's like, oh, well, they create clones because they were able to do this. And then they wanted to give all this other exposition about, maybe they just didn't have souls. And that's why. But that doesn't explain
They clone the body, but they're still having to share a soul with the original.
But that doesn't explain why they're unable to talk. Because all of them, they just grunt.
So I guess they weren't taught to talk? I
don't know. Again, it's one of these points where, again, the movie is so worried about Jordan Peele just deep-throating all the way to his testicles. I guess that big 2-inch penis there is that much for him to take in. But it's like, I get it. You really want to sit there and show your style. But instead, all you're doing is you're ripping off better films and you're giving us a really bare-bones plot that has a lot of holes. And
Hands Across America, what the hell is that supposed to do? Show, like, solidarity between the clones? Or, like, what? Like, can someone please tell me the moral of this story? Someone that actually enjoyed this movie. Can you explain to me what commentary that Jordan Peele was trying to make about society or about white people or black people or what? Like, what the hell is going on? Someone please explain to me.
It's strange how just bafflingly bad this movie really is.
And boring. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes its time with everything. Like, our big issue with Midsummer was the fact that it was a little slow and it liked to linger on some things a little too long. This is
There's weird shit happening. It's like, okay.
yeah. Here, it's not so much of the issue that it wants to linger on things that are a little too long. It wants to go on about shit that we don't fucking care about. Like, it wants to introduce these two white people that need to be used as fodder eventually later on because the movie probably wouldn't have much in the way of anything going on. It's the same issue that It Chapter 2 had. They realized, like, oh, yeah, if we don't actually add something here, this movie's going to be really fucking boring, even though it's an hour and a half of bullshit. Here, it's like, okay, well, there's not really much fucking going on if we don't add in this 35 minutes of horse shit. And it's like, okay, so here, let's just add this random white family in that are...
Yeah, it's a rich white family. The husband and wife don't really, like...
get along and they're alcoholics.
Yeah, like, she's so concerned about her appearance. Like, she'll get, like, a little nip and tuck, you know, here and there. Just a little goes a long way, she says, and...
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a commentary there because, like, the clone keeps cutting herself. It's like, okay, that could lead somewhere. That could be something. If we would have saw more of that, especially where this movie's set. San Francisco.
Yeah, like, she's about to cut Lupita Nyong'o because she has her hostage. But then the clone, like, goes over to Mira and, like, cuts her own face and is like, okay. I can't, like, after a second, got like, oh, okay. But it wasn't really consistent with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It
just, by the end of all of it, and here's the other thing that we have to bring up about the movie, because we're kind of already spoiled shit. But to be fair, this movie came out over 6 months ago. Nearly 9 now. Wait, not 9. 7. Sorry. Stupid.
It came out earlier this year.
Came out in March.
If you have not seen it or you have not heard the big twist, congratulations for living under a rock, I guess.
Yeah. But that's another thing. Like, we were kind of talking about it for a little bit. Once you realize the twist, it's insanely apparent. 2, it's like it's already beat you over the head beforehand if you didn't know the twist. But the movie's not worth a second watch. It's one of the big things, and it's the reason why I think this movie is really self-defeating in many ways. Much like many films, like, people will rail against movies about, you know, oh, well, that's just pure popcorn entertainment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I can watch it again. I would be able to sit down and be like, oh, I can listen to this. I can laugh at this. I can, you know, jazz with this or anything.
I think, you know, Midsummer, at least, as much as we didn't enjoy as much as we hoped we would, I think even that, like, we could give it a second watch, like, okay, there maybe something we missed, like, what?
Yeah, here...
And we wouldn't get too bored.
Yeah. With us, too much of it is way in your face and to where you understand what's going on. And once you do know what's going on, it really ruins the tension of a lot of scenes. It really just takes away a lot of the movie.
And then there's a lot of the like, choir music jumping in with its 2 cents.
Yeah, the fucking music in this movie, it's
uneven.
Yeah, it's just so... It's very much like a dick just randomly being thrown into your ear when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, like, how it feels like rap and hip-hop, like, you get, you know, fuck the police and...
Yeah.
But you also get that choir music. It's like, it doesn't really mesh together well. It just...
And not only that, but it always seems to come in awkward times. And it really will take away all of any dramaticness in a scene. Drama
yeah, like
in a
during
scene.
like a chase scene or when there's a struggle between the original and the clone or something.
Yeah, it decides to just have this overbearing just choir music. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, it's not like I'm watching Duel of the Fates here. Jesus. It's like, shut up, you bunch of assholes. I know the movie still got halfway through, and the character's going to be fine. And
it's just such a mess, is what this movie is.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why this movie has had more of a dropping off, I've noticed, as of late. Like, less people are really talking about it. Like, some critics still want to try to praise, it's one of the best movies of the year. It's
like, how much did Jordan Peele to pay you to say that?
He probably threatened them with his 2-inch penis. Jordan Peele will forever now be the 2-inch penis man. It's a piss poor movie. I would be willing to try and say it's not as bad if, one, Jordan Peele needs to learn to fucking edit down his movies. Get Out didn't have it as much, but still had a number of scenes where I'm like, okay, I fucking get it. Go forward. This is not progressing these characters. This is not doing anything except for you wanting
just
to...
boring me to tears.
Yeah. This movie is just littered with it. This is exactly what you think. It's a 1-hour plot stretched across 2. And that's the other really, really shitty part. It's like, when you're expecting, alright, I know the clones are coming up, because that's what the trailers all showed. The clones don't come in until halfway through the damn movie. And that's only whenever we just get hammered with all this fucking exposition. I think if they'd came in a little bit sooner...
On top of that, we had to constantly get these flashbacks to, like, the funhouse mirror from when she was a child, and some of the aftermath, and it's like just constantly, like, kind of reminding us, like, okay, this, like I said, it was just like clunk, 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 clunk over the head with these anvils of not subtlety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just by the end of it, you just
It's like,
you don't
it's like,
care.
pay attention. Like, this is important. This you really need to. It's like,
yeah, and it wastes your time. That's one of the worst things a horror movie can really try to do. And let's just admit, that's what this pretty much is trying to be. It's trying to be a horror thriller, and instead, it just ends up being a snore. Mm-hmm. It's arguably one of the most boring films we've watched this year. And that's saying a lot.
and we've seen Joker.
We watched Captive State. Hell, I would argue Captive State isn't as bad as this, even though I still don't know what happens in the movie.
Can I just say, like, it was kind of boring, but to me, it wasn't as boring so much as it was just confusing.
I was like utterly confounding, where you're like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. Who is that? Why are they? Where they come from?
Yeah, like, we're just dropped in the middle, and I'm like, just watching, and like, look over, like...
He's just like me. I legitimately do not know what the hell's going on.
We're like Elmo Drowned House, like, where you can't talk, so I can't lean over and say, like, do you have any idea what the fuck's going on? Because I don't. So I'm just like...
I just did the same thing.
Yeah, just a little Power Rangers gift that...
Yeah, very much wanted Tommy and Jason just... God,
I was like, damn, he doesn't know what's going on either. Damn it.
Yeah, that's some bad things like Captive State. I still just don't know what the hell happened in that movie. This movie, I know,
but I ain't taking another look at it.
Yeah.
In fact, I would rather take a second look at that than take a second look at this movie.
It really just, like I said, it does not help that all of the... Like, alright, we're just going to show you an example. Sixth Sense. Unbreakable. You may not like it, but Glass even. Split. All these other movies. I'm just going by M. Night Shyamalan. A guy we know who loves these stupid twists.
Yeah, he's known for it. Some are like mind blowing, and others are just kind of like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah, like hell, even The Village, which I thought it was a really, really stupid twist. At least you can watch it again.
I have not seen that movie, but knowing what I know about the twist, like, well, that sounds stupid.
Yeah, well, what I'm just trying to say is that, despite knowing their twists, like they're now like everybody knows the twist of Sixth Sense, and you may not know, but you'll learn it of Unbreakable, Split, all these others. Despite knowing the twist, they're worth watching again. Hell, I would argue The Village is worth watching again because that's actually an issue with The Village. Like, if you did not have that last 5 minutes of the movie that revealed everything, the movie's actually kind of creepy as hell. And it legitimately can build this really, really just ominous atmosphere. And it does its job well until it goes with the ball at the end.
And that's another thing that M. Night Shyamalan, he can, whether good or bad twists, M. Night Shyamalan has this ability to just kind of weave these little hints into the tapestry of the film. And
without smashing you over the head with it.
Yes. I mean, with, what was it, Sixth Sense, you know, his wife was constantly ignoring him. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he couldn't go into, this one certain room because it had, like, a red doorknob or something.
Yeah.
And, like, there were certain things going on, and it's like, oh, okay. Oh, wow, that makes sense. Wow, yeah. Yeah, it's like just kind of like little clues that if you pay enough attention to the right details, you probably could figure it out.
Yeah, if you paid it, even, but that's the thing. It's like there's little details sprinkled throughout it, but they're little. They're just if you catch them.
Yeah, like I said, they're weaved like seamlessly into the story. They're not like clunk.
Yeah, they're not a big fucking barricade you gotta get around. They're not entire big long scenes that distract from what the main plot is or anything like that. It's like, okay, well, thanks. We had to go into a back.
Yeah, like they're
forth.
like they make up part of the big picture, and it's just they blend so well that unless you're looking for them, you don't notice them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what Jordan Peele needs to learn if this is any indication of his style.
Hell, a director I would say who sometimes lacks subtlety, both for good and for bad at times. Quentin Tarantino, there was nice little hints throughout. What the hell's the name of that movie? We just watched it earlier this year. And it was actually,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and how it was gonna end. There were hints straight up about how this is gonna end, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's a way to end the movie.
Yeah, it's like we're taking on this journey, you know. Every once in a while, go back to Sharon Tate and her friends and what's going on with them. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to see this all happen. We're going to see, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt get killed. And it's like, oh, no. Surprise, surprise. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but it's like Quentin Tarantino is a very non-subtle director, but he had subtlety in that film with the setup to the end. And it was like, okay, that actually really worked. Jordan Peele, take some notes. Because, again, it's just, the movie, it's not subtle. And because of that, again, it ruins the rewatchability. That's one of the big issues with movies. And it's the thing that means, directors don't get, is that it doesn't matter how much of a message you're getting across in your movie. It matters if your movie is able to be rewatched again, especially to pick up on stuff you've missed. Hereditary did it really well. Hell, even though I didn't much care for it, I would say still Midsommar did it pretty well.
Yeah.
There were sometimes it was a little bit more overt than it probably needed to be, but it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, you're not entirely sure. I was like, okay, are the characters taking a trip, or am I?
Did I just drop acid, or what happened?
Like, is this actually happening, or is this like a trip that we're going on with the characters? Like, okay, it's okay. No, wait, it's actually no, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll just go with it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that every movie has to be an entertaining popcorn flick, but let's just take probably one of the best movies and compare it to arguably what's seemingly one of the worst this year so far, Us to Endgame. I know a lot of people really want to shit on Endgame. It's like, Endgame gave us great character motivation. It gave us some heart-wrenching moments. It actually gave us some drama and made you care about the characters. And to be fair, unless you read a whole lot, the ending, it actually was set up in the film pretty well. It's actually been set up over the past couple of films. But unless you are digging into it, you don't see it.
Yeah, Joss Whedon is one of those, like, he can really
That was done by the Russo brothers.
Well, Joss Whedon had a hand in it. Honestly.
Josh Whedon's been kicked to the curb because he wanted to have control over it all.
Well, give him control. He's good at what. I mean, Russo brothers did a good job. Not.
Russo brothers have been in control since Civil War. Just to put it to you that way.
Well, Joss Whedon can do a good job.
He can also do a really, really dicked up job. I like Josh Whedon. There's a lot of things I don't like about him, though. His dialogue can also be bad. Oh my god, yeah. I forgot about the whole dialogue of Us. Sorry. I forgot about that shitty fucking dialogue. Oh, I mean, I'm dumb.
Yeah, you missed. We were talking about stilted dialogue. Go back to Slate Pony.
What you saying?
But, well, I'm just gonna say that with the Avengers movies, especially the more recent ones, Infinity War and Endgame, it's like I like these writers like trying to shit on these movies, thinking they're just, I guess, superheroes fighting bad guy, and explosions. And I was like, there's more to it than that. It's like if you actually watch, there are very human elements and human stories to tell. Even if they don't really...
They're obviously not something that would ever happen to us.
But in a way they are relatable. Like, Thor's reaction to his guilt. Over the fact that, yeah, I fucked up. It's like, I could have ended all this sooner by just going for the head in the first place.
Yeah, and hell, I will still say one of the more powerful moments that a lot of people didn't tear up, but I tear up still at in Endgame, Thor seeing his mom again. I don't know why. That's so sad, because he knows what's exactly going to happen, and she's...
Because, I mean, he's lost his mom, and now here's a chance to talk to her just one more time, and
she says exactly what he needs to hear, and it's the best thing ever. It's like... Oh.
And it's like, just don't be what everyone expects you to be. Be who you want to be.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, and like just kind of being his mom one more time, and it's like, oh, for anyone who's lost a parent, I think they can relate.
Yeah.
If they haven't really lost a parent to a dark elf, but...
Yeah, not many people's parents get killed by a giant dark elf on steroids. If you have, please start a self-help group, or at least put Reddit posts up. We need to read that shit. But yeah, it's like those...
Or the guilt that Tony feels over...
Loss of Peter.
Well, lots of everyone, but especially Peter. This, like, surrogate son just, like, kind of dying in his arms, essentially. Like, ah! Or Clint. His family dying during the
snap.
Yeah, the snap. And, like, him just being so angry... I think a lot of people confuse, like, why he's going after, like, these mobsters and stuff. It's like, to be fair, if, half the world's population dies, including your family, but, these assholes survive, like, you'd be pissed, too. It's like, okay, where's the justice in that? How is that fair in any way?
Yeah.
And so he's kind of...
He's lashing out.
Yeah, he's lashing out, and he's also, in his own way... trying to balance the scales.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, why should y'all get to live while my family died? It's like, it's not something that happens to everyone every day, but it's still relatable.
Oh, hell, probably still another part that I just bawl like a baby. I'm sorry to talk about Endgame. I've talked about Endgame over Us, and we really never talked about spoilers much with Endgame.
And also, I feel like we need to address it's like there are human elements, human emotions to these superhero films.
But whenever Ant-Man comes back, when Scott Lang comes back and he doesn't know where Cassie is, his daughter, and he gets to see her again, it's like, that's just one of the best things ever. Again,
or when Clint kind of goes back, like he almost is able to go and see his kids again. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, and you feel for him because he's like, one, he's able to prove that this could work. Two, he's like, he was that close. He was just that close, y'all.
I would say he could like see and actually even like hug his daughter one more time. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, what parent who's lost a child would not want that opportunity?
Yeah. Especially a daughter who seems to be really taking after daddy. If anything is known by those who watch comic books, she's gonna watch comic books. Read. Uh, I'm dumb today, y'all. Yeah, just
This movie has melted our brains.
yeah. But like we're even trying to say, it's like with to compare Endgame and us, it seems like comparing apples to steak tartare. You have one movie that doesn't know how to approach subtlety and also doesn't know how to write character dialogue really well, and a movie that has to combine all these, to put it lightly, high concept sci-fi things, and is able to still make it not just relatable but entertaining and still have human elements. That is a gift, and that is something that Jordan Peele needs to look at. Not saying it's like, oh, he needs a copy Endgame, because I know it's exactly what he's going to take it as. But, okay, let's see. Oh, I need to make the dialogue more human. Listen to how people talk to each other. Mm-hmm. Listen to how people deal with each other in different things.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest challenges for writers, is that trying to write dialogue that kind of moves the story along, but also feels natural to how people actually speak to each other.
Hell, you can say that about the book you just recently finished reading on how the dialogue was off, to put it lightly.
It's like, come on, guys! Like, what do we need to do about this threat?
Yeah, it's like,
fuck that book.
Yeah, that's just something that Jordan Peele needs to learn. It's like, it's not just about you need to make interesting characters and all this. Like, you do need to have interesting characters, but you also need to have good dialogue. You need to have a good setup for everything. And on top of everything, if you realize, like, hey, this is really, really, really not interesting, scrap it. That's just the long and short of it. Like, there's a point to where you gotta realize, hey, this is not good. I probably shouldn't do this. Instead of,
I'm sure to him it's a masterpiece.
Oh, yeah. He probably jizzed 12 times out of his 2-inch penis. And he was like, I made this movie. So, yeah, go see Endgame.
It's like, go watch Endgame again. Go watch Midsummer or Hereditary. Go watch
Captive State. It's much, at least more interesting. I can't tell you what the fuck happens in the movie.
Go watch anything but this and Joker.
Let's just miss us.
Hell, I would almost rather watch Joker again than watch this.
At least Joker had stuff that pissed me off. This pissed me off but bored me at the same time. And that's something you gotta be doing a special there. It's like, congratulations. You managed to piss me off.
At least the dialogue in Joker wasn't stilted.
Oh, no. If that's one thing I can at least give, the dialogue was at least decent in Joker. It wasn't phenomenal. But I wasn't sitting there going, God, this sounds funny. And not funny like, haha, it just sounds funky. Like, if I heard somebody talking that way, I go, are you a robot? Mm-hmm. So.
Maybe that's what the original twist is going to be. We're all robots.
That actually would have been a lot more interesting. Like if it was just the government was creating robots to try and replace humans and stuff like that. Why, I don't know. But that's another issue in the movie.
Or if we were all robots and the supposed clones were actually real people they're trying to repopulate the Earth with and take over and kill the robots. I don't know.
Fuck this movie.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you give this? It's like a 4 or 5, right? I got that. I'm gonna stab you in the face. Look.
Maybe. Yeah. Fuck this movie so much. It's gonna have to be a big fat goose egg for me, but since we can't do that,
cheating.
1.
Yeah.
You didn't even earn that one, movie.
This movie, it's not worth your time. You could watch something that's either more entertaining or at least something more rewatchable. Something at least, it could be, hell, I almost might even say watch Good Boys again. And Good Boys fucking sucked. It's a 1. This movie, it's not worth your time. And that's just the biggest thing. Is like, to me, what's worse about a movie is not just simply how bad it is, but also how little I get from it. How little entertainment value or memories or anything am I getting?
And the movie can be bad and still be entertaining. Look at Batman and Robin.
Look at Battlefield Earth. Dear God, rather watch Battlefield Earth and it's 2.5 hours long. I'd rather watch Batman and Robin. It's nearly 2 hours long.
Let's kill the dinosaurs.
The Ice Age!
And all the ice puns and...
Ah, I love them so much.
Those probably never said ice to see you.
Yeah. But to be fair, Poison Ivy also had a lot of
My vines have a crush on you.
And then also
The editing. With...
Yeah, it literally is just rewound version of the footage. It's like, so we couldn't have Chris O'Donnell struggle for a second.
In like 3 feet of water.
Oh, that's not. And now you see why I want to watch Midway. Because I am going to see this. And I want to watch and just be like, it's so gloriously terrible.
It just looks like it's going to be boring.
Oh, no, it's going to be bad.
Over the top, but not even in an entertaining way.
You haven't watched any... what the fuck's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy who did it in Independence Day. I'll remember in 5 minutes when this video's done.
Roland Emmerich?
Yeah, Roland Emmerich. Yeah, you've never watched a real good Roland Emmerich movie to see just how awful his dialogue can be, but in just fun ways. Unlike Jordan Peele, who can't figure out how to write humans to save his life.
Like, this seems like something humans would say, right?
How does human talk? Mm-hmm. Jordan just wrote a bunch of colons. Not even a word.
Watch, we find out that Jordan Peele is actually an alien sent to study humans.
Would not surprise me. But yeah, so that's us. Oh, crap, I forgot. It's the end of the month. Bang. It's the end of the month, and I know it.
What did we sing?
Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about what we're gonna be seeing throughout the rest of November. Rest of November. How's it gonna start again?
Well, you can say rest this year, but let's just take it.
Yeah, we're just gonna go with November because December is gonna be really funky. I've already been kind of looking a little ahead to it, and it's. So I'm just gonna kill myself because Terminator Dark Fate's next week, and it looks bad, y'all. It looks really bad. Like, it's Terminator Genesis levels of shit. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but I love the fact, not that critics are the be-all, end-all, but they've given us a wonderful 54. Last movie I saw that had a low 50 grade like that was Joker. Even though people loved it. But, except us, because we have taste.
Well, I don't know about. You chose me.
Exactly. It's proving my taste is awesome. So, the week after that, which will be the weekend of the 8th, we're going to go watch Midway. I know y'all might say, go see Dr. Sleep, but it's 2.5 hour long Stephen King movie. I would rather kick a puppy than watch another Stephen King movie this year. I've watched enough.
You kick a puppy, I kick you.
That almost might be worth it instead of watching a Stephen King movie. I have not seen a good Stephen King movie.
I'd rather see something supernatural than...
But that's the thing, the supernatural stuff, if it's going to be just like The Shining, it's going to be so underneath it and so lost in translation.
The Shining yet.
Another reason we don't need to go watch Dr. Sleep. But
I will watch it.
We'll watch Midway because it's going to be a train wreck of epic proportions. It's going to be a Battlefield.
You may go and see that by yourself.
I will enjoy it at least. So, because we need to go from a movie I want to watch because it's going to be a train wreck to a movie I want to watch because it actually looks like it's going to be really good, we're probably going to go see Ford versus Ferrari on the weekend of the 15th.
That looks funny.
Yeah, it looks
pretty good.
Looks like it's going to be interesting. I'm worried because it's 2.5 hours long. So it's like, oh my God. If that doesn't have really great showtimes, we'll probably go see The Good Liar because we would rather stick our legs into meat grinders than watch Charlie's Angels. Because I cannot tell you how many shits I don't give about
I don't know,
that.
Good Liar looks a little boring to me, but...
It cannot be as bad as Charlie's Angels.
I'd almost rather see Charlie's Angels than Good Liar.
I say that now. Oh, and 20 seconds since we were cock blocked. Thank you, movie
Thank you,
theater.
Joker and Gemini Man.
Yeah, so because we were cock blocked at the end of August, we weren't able to see 21 Bridges, so we're going to go see it the 22nd of November. Or the weekend of it. Yeah, we get to miss Frozen 2 at least. Thank you. I guess it's one good thing about it all. Because I cannot tell you how much I don't want to see Frozen 2. I hated the first one.
I didn't much care for the first one, but I am curious. Like, what the hell? How can you? How a sequel? How what? Why? More importantly, why?
Money, money, money. Money. Yeah, we're going to go see 21 Bridges. We have actually been looking forward to this for
Months.
Yeah, it's like we kept seeing trailers like, damn, this actually looks really, really interesting. It looks really.
I was like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's like it looks like it has a great cast. It looks like it's actually going to have some really interesting drama unfold and some really shady stuff that Black and Blue could not accomplish if it wanted to. But yeah, so we're going to go see that. And to end off November, we're going to watch Daniel Craig attempt a southern accent. And we're going to go watch Knives Out. We've been looking forward to this for a
You're
while.
funny. It looks so funny.
Yeah, we might.
Yeah, Chris Evans, you can eat shit, you can eat shit, and you can eat shit. It's like,
God damn, I love when Chris Evans is an asshole. He does an asshole so well. I guess since he's been Superman, Captain America for so long, it's so good to see him being a dick.
he's probably happy to just finally let loose.
Yeah.
Stop being such a goody-goody.
Yeah. So, November's going to be a really up and down kind of month, it looks like. Hold on. Here's what I'm going to say. We're going to have probably 2 weeks of terrible movies. But that's the reason why I want Midway, because I fear Doctor Sleep is going to... Because I already know the plot of Doctor Sleep. I haven't read the book. I have
Well,
not
we know
watched
how Midway's gonna end.
Well, yeah, but you don't get to see it without having a plane going through an aircraft carrier that's actually inches thick steel, because somehow a plane is super powerful that way. I'm like, oh, this is so terrible.
You are such a nerd. Knows a detail like that.
Oh, no. I know even more that makes Midway just so deliciously stupid. But hey, we'll be back next week with Terminator Dark Fate. And the only thing I can hope is that it's better than Genesis. So, hey, until then, miss us. Watch anything fucking else. Watch your turds drying up in the toilet.
Watch grass grow. Watch paint dry. Watch just about anything.
Yeah. Watch two cats having sex in the alleyway.
Or even just watch a cat.
So I think that's how the script got written. But hey, we'll see y'all next week with some Terminator. So until then, we'll be back.
Hasta la vista, baby.